Hello, 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 everybody. So glad to have you joining me today. We're starting a lot later than usual. It is 5:34 Mountain Time PM right now, and what we're going to do and it is Friday evening. So what we're going to do will be messages for Saturday, November the 11th. Then we'll do about 5 minutes worth of Reiki, and then we'll be free for all question times. Whatever kind of questions you would like to ask, whether they have to do with psychic mentoring, whether they have to do with how you expand your own abilities, how did I get started, how to make a good apple pie, whatever. It's all free game as long as it's not inappropriate or too personal or anything like that. Then that will be after Reiki. Okay, so let's just start with messages for Aries for Saturday, November the 11th. What do I have coming up for Aries? It's interesting. I'm seeing you wearing plaid, almost like what we used to wear at Catholic school for uniforms. Aries, I think that you are going to be doing something with a group of people on Saturday that has some kind of formatting to it. So this is not, you're just doing whatever it is that you want to do. This is some kind of group orchestrated event on Saturday for a lot of you, Aries. For those of you who this is not a formally orchestrated event, this could be something that a parent or a relative or somebody close to you basically has orchestrated, whether they let you in on that fact or not. Taurus coming in for Saturday, November the 11th. What do I have coming up for you? New beginnings, Taurus, new beginnings. I think that the new beginning has a lot to do with your perspective, that you're changing how you're looking at something on Saturday. All of a sudden, you're going to have one of those aha moments where things are going to start to click for you in ways that they really weren't clicking before. You're going to think, that's why this makes sense. Oh, and that makes sense. Oh, and that makes sense. And so the best thing for me to do in this situation would be da 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 da. There's a lot of clarity coming in for you with these new beginnings, Taurus, on Saturday. Gemini, Saturday, November the 11th. Geminis, I feel like you've got some inner conflict going on the 11th, and I feel like this has to do with a couple of things, actually, and I think they overlap with each other. This inner conflict has to do with relationships in your life, and it also has to do with the idea of what's your life purpose, or what do you want to get accomplished, or what kind of legacy do you want to leave for people who come behind. And I think that you're in a situation, Geminis, where you're starting to feel like possibly the relationships that you have, or at least one or some of the relationships that you have, may be interfering with that legacy that you want to leave, or with you fulfilling what you see as your purpose. And so I feel like there's a lot of inner turmoil here because relationships are not easy to just say, oh, well, you don't fit, see you later, bye, out. So the inner turmoil has to do with, how can I balance maintaining this relationship and still do the things that I want to accomplish? Okay. So next, what we're looking at is Cancer. Cancer for Saturday, November the 11th. And let me just double check something. I want to make sure that I've made this event a public event, because so far, I don't know. There we go. Okay. All right, so let's just see what happens. So next we're looking at Cancer for Saturday. Cancer for Saturday the 11th. By the way, happy Veterans Day, and thank you to all of you who served out there. I do appreciate it. I'm a veteran myself, although I didn't have to be in any terrible conflicts. I do know a little bit about stuff that you go through on an everyday basis. So anyway, thank you. That's what I want to say. Thank you. Cancers on November the 11th. What do we have coming up for you guys? I feel like I just did you guys, actually. No, I didn't. Okay. Cancers, you're the ones that are floating by today on November 11th. I think that you have no plans currently exist for a lot of you for Saturday, November the 11th, and you're just kind of floating along in that no plan zone, and you're feeling like, oh, what a relief. What a relief that is. Michelle Renee Designer, you just barely missed Gemini. I think if I understand correctly, this is kind of like DVR like, so you can scroll backward and hear it even while I'm here, if you want. So, or you can hear it later, whatever you choose. So, Cancers are kind of free floating on the day. No plans currently exist. They're just going to be following their noses wherever it leads them. Some of you guys are going to be just enjoying getting stuff done in the house that you've been wanting to accomplish for a long time, and others of you are going to end up getting out of the house for all day, maybe even for 2 days, just on a spur of the moment type of thing. Yep, yep. Okay, let's look at Leos for November the 11th. Leo, 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 Leo. Leo's November the 11th. What I'm hearing is you are experimenting. This can come in a myriad of ways. And when I try to narrow down what it is you guys are experimenting with, there's really not any narrowing it down. This can be the typical things that we can think about with experimentation. This can be drugs. This can be sexual exploits. This can be spiritual stuff that you're experimenting with. This can just be a lot of different. This can manifest in a lot of different ways beyond what I've even mentioned. You could be literally doing some kind of scientific experiment, but definitely experimenting, exploring new things, kind of pushing the limits, seeing where the edges and where the boundaries are on something, Leo. And I want to say good for you. So whatever you're doing, it feels like it's pretty healthy, whatever you're doing for most of you to me. So that's cool. All right, let's look at Virgos for Saturday, November 11th. Virgos, I feel like you've got your head down and you're pushing forward. You are making progress come heck or high water on something that you've got on your mind. You have a definite purpose and you will not be dissuaded from it on Saturdays, Virgo. Except I'm hearing a few of you could be dissuaded from it by a really nice dinner. But most of you, that's not going to work either. All right, let me wet my throat here. And let's take a peek at Libra. Libra, Saturday, November the 11th. You guys, I just hear similar stuff for you all the time. You've got to be one of the most consistent signs. Today, what I'm hearing first started off as fairness, and I was like, look, there's only so many times I can go down the track of fairness. You got to give me something else here. So then what I started hearing is equalizing, 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 equalizing over and over and over. If that's not fairness, I don't know what is. But apparently you're taking some action to make sure that things are in a two-way street type of situation for you. Now, for some of you, as I'm digging into this deeper, I shouldn't say I can't keep going down that path because apparently I can. Now, for some of you, for quite a few of you, I think this has to do with the relationship where you feel like most of you are feeling like you've been giving more than the other person has been giving in this relationship. And so you are equalizing. Some of you are equalizing by stepping back and giving less, making it more equal. For others of you, though, and this is more the minority, maybe like 20% of y'all, I'm feeling like Some others of you Libras are feeling like, somebody has helped you so much and given so much to you, and you want to equalize that. And so you may be giving somebody a gift or doing something special or creating a special memory with somebody. But there's the theme is equalizing. So whichever way that comes in for you, whether it's that somebody is not giving enough, and so you're deciding, well, let's just make this fair. I'm going to give less too now. Or whether that somebody has given so much and now that you're able to repay that, you want to repay that. So that's what I see coming in for you guys for Saturday, Libras. Scorpio, Scorpio. Saturday, November the 11th. Oh, Scorpio, Scorpio, how art thou? Huh. Notice I didn't say where. How art thou? Scorpio, to me, what this feels like is we're going to be doing some serious introspection on the 11th. We're going to be thinking about, how am I? Am I okay? Am I okay, or have I gone off the deep end? And is going off the deep end okay? I really think we are going to be doing some serious introspection about situations that we're in our lives, and those situations are going to be different for each of us. I think some of us are going to be doing this about work situations, others will be doing this about relationship or family situations, and others of us will be doing this about finances. It will be a time of evaluation. Okay, this is where I am. Is this where I want to be? And what do I do to be closer to where I want to be if I'm not? This is not only, I feel like this is this deep introspection, this is really a time of removing obstacles, removing resistance, removing roots of negativity from ourselves. So not only introspection, but also some serious work on self is what's coming up for Saturday, November the 11th, fellow Scorpios. Sagittarius. Every time I say your name, I just think about dancing. I mean, can't you see? Sagittarius. That's definitely dancing, right? Yes, this is how the mind of a psychic works. Okay, Sagittarius, what do I feel coming in for you? Saturday, November the 11th. I feel like you're paired off with somebody on Saturday. And when I say paired off, please note that is not necessarily the same as coupled up. But I do feel like there's somebody that you're spending a significant amount of your time with Saturday, and I do feel like it is, or could be considered recreational time. I'm actually seeing a lot of shopping, and as soon as I started to say recreational time, I also have this sense that for some of you, especially those of you that you're spending time with somebody else and you're doing some shopping, this may not really be so much about recreation. This may be preparing for a wedding or preparing for some kind of work event or some kind of outing, but getting prepared for it. And so where it's not necessarily connected with work, it's also not necessarily recreation. This person that you're out shopping with or what you're shopping for may not be the most pleasant thing, Sagittarius. And for those of you that it's not shopping, then, there is some kind of recreation going on, but it is with another person. And it feels like this recreation feels a little funny to me. Funny, not funny, haha, but funny, weird. Feels to me, Sagittarius, like whatever this is, even though other people would see it as you're having a great time, they would assume that. I feel like the person that you're with, you're either trying so hard to impress them, like maybe this is a boss or a potential boss, or you're just trying so hard just not to piss them off on the other end of the spectrum that you may be walking on eggshells and you don't feel like you're free to actually be yourself. And so because there is so much of this wanting to keep the other person happy or impress them or at least keep them calm and peaceful, I really feel like you're, even though you're doing something recreational, it's really not nurturing yourself at all. All your energy really is going into feeding that other person energetically. Okay, so now let's look at Capricorn, Saturday, November the 11th. Hmm. Capricorn, I'm seeing the strangest thing for you, and I'm just trying to decipher it. I'm almost seeing like a spike or something. This I don't even know how to describe this really well, but it's like there's some kind of metal spike that's going down into wood or into stone or some type of building material or something, and it's being hammered down, and so it goes down further, but then it bounces, and it bounces back out. And so I think Capricorn, what's going on is on Saturday, you're feeling like I think you're actually the spike. Like that was the part I was having the hard time making the connection with. I think you're the spike. Like there's, there are events happening or there are things that people are saying. There's something coming along where it feels like you're just being pounded into the ground. And then next thing you know, you're bouncing right back. It's almost like you're saying, you know what, I'm having too good of a day to let that bother me. And the spike comes right back up out of the ground. Here's Capricorn, back to happy again. Okay, so you are dealing with some issues. And I'm not going to say that you're putting your head in the sand. I don't believe you are. I just believe that you're dealing with these issues incredibly well and bouncing back incredibly fast for whatever these issues are. And they are going to be different. For some of you, it's going to be events that happen that you're going to have to bounce back from. And I say you're gonna have to bounce back from, but you're doing so well at bouncing back from. It's like have doesn't even belong there. I almost want to say you get to bounce back from them. So it's interesting. I wonder what those events would be. And for some others of you, this is things people are saying to you, or you're finding out about things people have said about you, and you're just like, you get to think whatever you want to think. See you later. I'm gonna go hang out on my surfboard now and have a good time, or whatever your thing is that makes you happy. I don't know. Anyway, bouncing back just wonderfully well from whatever's going on the 11th. Aquarius, November the 11th, Saturday. What do we have coming up for you guys? Aquarians. Freedom, freedom, freedom is the theme for you Saturday. Sometimes when I picture Aquarius, I picture like an aquarium and somebody in the aquarium, and there's like no aquarium. Like that picture started to come in and just kind of got blown up. And then it's like, nope, no aquariums for Aquarius on Saturday. Freedom, freedom, freedom. So out doing your own thing. I'm actually seeing pictures of some of you guys out just riding motorcycles, wandering wherever you feel like, following your nose on your motorcycle, but just doing some things that are making you feel empowered and unbound, unlimited by other people or by situations. Just reaching for that freedom on Saturday. Aquarius. Pisces. Pisces, Pisces. What do we have coming in for you? Saturday, November the 11th. Veterans Day here in the U.S. Thank you to all those who served. If you didn't hear me say it before, thank you. Pisces. It's almost like Spirit was finishing my sentence. I said Pisces, and then I heard loves to joke around. So Saturday, I do think that you're going to be joking around and just having a good time, making light of things that are coming up. It's good to be a little bit careful and sensitive to other people's feelings, Pisces, because I think it's going to be really easy to try to make light of things or lighten things up when somebody's talking about something serious, and you're just trying to make it more palatable for everybody, or at least that's your perspective of things. And the other person is like, look, it doesn't need to be more palatable. It doesn't need to be watered down. It doesn't need to be lightened up. We need to take care of business here. So if you're not saying something that has to do with taking care of business, please be quiet. It's going to be easy to find yourself in one of those situations. So try to be sensitive, Pisces, about when you're trying to lighten things up. If everybody around you, especially those in charge, are going to feel like that's actually something that they want to happen, as opposed to something that you just compulsively do because you like to see people happy. You don't like to see seriousness or heavy focus or heavy energy. So just make sure it's all good to joke around, but make sure that it's an appropriate joke whenever you're joking on Saturday. That's the warning, I guess, that comes with that prediction. Laughing and joking on Saturday. Like I said, that warning is not just me thinking like, oh, you shouldn't laugh too much. Obviously, I laugh quite a bit. It really is a warning from Sacred Spirit. Please be careful about where you're doing your joking, whether the situation is appropriate or not. Most of the time, I have the feeling most of the time it will be, but it could be pretty easy to kind of get into that mode and just sort of wander across territory that you shouldn't be in that mode in. So anyway, let's move on. Let's do some Reiki for everybody who watches this video. This Reiki is good for everybody who's watching right now. It's also good if you happen to tune in later. What I'm going to do is have this Reiki set up so that it goes to whatever will benefit each of you the most. If you would like to adjust that intention for something more specific for yourself, feel free to do that. And let's see, I'm just going to go ahead and get that started. And after that, we'll have about 4 more minutes left for questions if you guys would like to ask me any questions. And if you want to talk about Reiki during Reiki, we can. I can be very quiet during Reiki. Kind of up to you guys. What do you want to talk about? Okay, so we've got Reiki started for the next 5 minutes. Wow, somebody's really got some kind of issue with their shoulder. So I'm feeling a lot of energy going out to a left shoulder for somebody. Energy is going out to everybody, and the Reiki energy is always going to be adjusting and making sure that all of your chakras are in alignment. But what I'm telling you about here is like where I see extra or where I feel extra concentrations of energy going to. And then if you happen to be noticing the energy in that area, then you'll know that it applies to you. If you don't really know, then just kind of keep your eye out for improvements and changes in that area. Not everybody feels stuff whenever Reiki is sent. So it's okay if you don't feel anything, but a lot of people do feel things in their bodies. And sometimes people actually feel things in their emotions as well. So keep your eyes open for that too. Sometimes people just feel very relaxed, and sometimes they feel very energetic after Reiki. Some of you are feeling very relaxed, whether you're here right now or whether you're here later, because I suddenly just feel the need to fall asleep. So maybe some of you are falling asleep watching this. If that urge gets any stronger, I'm going to have to put my head down on the table and just check it a few minutes to see. Have 5 minutes gone by? Now, while you guys are being so quiet, obviously this is a great time for me to self-promote, which means that if you would like to have a private reading with me, I do offer private readings. If you would like to have a Reiki session with me, I do offer Reiki sessions. Reiki sessions are an hour, and they're concentrated just on you. So obviously you're going to feel a lot more powerful effects whenever you get that much time and it's just on you instead of spread out over a whole bunch of people. If you have never experienced Reiki before, I would highly encourage you to experience it. Um, that's part of why I do the little 5 minutes here, but you really should experience like a whole session for yourself too, if you can. And I do offer free Reiki sessions. If you've never had Reiki from me before, I do offer free Reiki sessions at no charge the very first time that you have Reiki from me. And then after that, if you want more, of course, then we talk about financial stuff. But the first time, I'm just happy to um, hear what your experience is all about. I am still very tired. I was not tired when I logged on, guys. This is somebody during the Reiki is getting totally relaxed. Maybe even snoozing away as I'm talking. I want you guys to be thinking about what kind of questions you want to ask me after Reiki's over, because we've only got how many more minutes? About 1 or 2 more minutes of Reiki. And then you guys think about what kind of questions you would like to throw at me while you've got the chance. La da 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 da. La da da da. La da da da. This is the quietest YouTube live I have ever been on. My timing must not have been good. Friday evening, everybody's out. Okay, so we are done with Reiki. Let me go ahead and wrap that up. Whoever has questions for me, go ahead and shoot them right up in that chat. Since there's only one viewer here besides me, just so I can see the chat. If you have questions for me, throw them right up there. This is your chance to have a one-on-one conversation with me right now for no charge. Most people pay for that. So this is a highly nice opportunity. At least I hope it is. I would like to think it is. I'm not sure how much delay is actually on the line tonight. I'm not sure how long I would need to wait if somebody was typing a question. I think I'm going to give it about 2 more minutes, and then if I haven't heard anything from anybody, I'm just going to go ahead and log on out for the night. One more minute and I am out the door. We have someone in the room that is shy. Usually people have tons of questions for me. Can you tell me if my boyfriend will be back? Can you tell me how to expand my abilities? Can you tell me if I'll get the job I just interviewed for? Can you tell me if the sesame chicken at Ho La Min is good or not? I've actually never had a question like that. That would be a fun one. That would be a light and easy one. Okay, well, no questions. I guess nobody wants any information tonight. That is just fine. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Everyone have a fantastic, fantastic evening and day. And I will see you here the next time, probably tomorrow.